Sandra. Welcome back to another episode of Meet the Cast. This is episode 2. Today I have Daniel with me. He's going to be my interviewer. Just like Daniel interviewed me in the first episode, I'm going to be interviewing Daniel. We hope you like it. Daniel, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Wow, now I'm the interviewee. That's so cool.
I know.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Daniel Mejia. I think I've introduced myself a little bit, but this is my interview. So I'm actually from Santa Ana, California, born and raised here in SoCal. And what else can I say? I'm Latino, first generation college student. Went to public school my whole life until high school, then private, and then continued it in university. What else can I say? I mean, I would go to Chapman University right now.
He's a big Star Wars nerd.
I'm a big Star Wars Marvel nerd. Let's see, what am I majoring in? I'm a psych major right now and minoring in neuroscience, biology, and history. Pretty involved at school. I'm an orientation coordinator. I'm establishing an undergraduate journal for the Chapman community. I'm an admission tour guide. I try to do a lot. But I'm trying to get involved as much as I can. But yeah, that is me. This is me, and I guess we'll talk about some other stuff later on. But I mean, what else do you want to know? I don't know.
Well, we're about to find out, right?
Definitely.
Well, you kind of talked about school a little bit, but where do you go to school and what's your major?
Yeah, so like I said, I go to Chapman University, which is here in Orange. I'm a psychology major, minoring in history, organismal biology, and neuroscience. And if I get to stay an extra year or even an extra semester, maybe I'll add another minor or something like that.
Wow, that's great. I didn't know that. That's awesome. So with that being said, though, what are you hoping for your future in terms of your major, at least?
Yeah, so for a long time, I'm someone that was kind of always like steadfast in what I wanted to do. So for a long time, I wanted to be an astrophysicist, which is, someone, if you're familiar with the Big Bang Theory, kind of someone like Sheldon, but just some of those people that I was really interested in dark energy, dark matter, and yeah, just astrophysics in general. I just loved it a lot. But some stuff happened as I entered my senior year, and then I went to college. I ended up going to a public, actually, there's no need for me to censor it. I went to UCI, and it just wasn't the place for me. I transferred out after 3 months, and I was able to go to Chapman.
Okay.
I know
that's
it happens.
You got to find that right fit, right?
Exactly. So I guess to make a long story short, I really realized that my original love was bio, and even though I really love physics and astronomy, I just think I really want to be working with animals. So I decided to go with the psych field and have the bio and the neuroscience so I could combine it and do ethology or neuroethology. So essentially it means animal behavior and animal psychology. I really want to work with primates and big cats and work with them, maybe some language and just vocal development. I want to study just behavior in general. And
cool.
Just anything that lets me work with animals in the field.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy for you, and I hope that you're able to continue that in the future. It seems like something you're very passionate about. Other than school though, and you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier too. Do you have any other involvements in terms of maybe sports or clubs or whatnot?
Yeah, so I think before the pandemic, maybe I was a little bit more involved outside of the campus community, but I think more so now, just kind of involving myself purely in that. But like I said, I'm part of the ice hockey team. I am so bad, but it's okay. I love playing. I have some health problems, so my mindset is if I can be on the team, even if I'm the towel boy, if I can just get that hour into practice, better to do it now than in a few years when I'm no longer to do it,
Exactly.
So do that. I play soccer, not for the actual school, but as a club, as part of Chapman. Like I said, I'm helping to establish an undergraduate journal for Chapman. Which is awesome. I actually started in Chapman Radio a year ago, and the fall of 2019, and that's kind of what spurred all this, which I know we'll talk about in a minute, so I won't talk too much into that. But yeah, I'm just kind of involved in a lot of different things at Chapman. Outside of that, not too many things, just because, you know, of course, the current limitations as well. But
of course.
yeah, and I also do kind of want to shamelessly plug
That's
that,
okay, go ahead.
yeah, that one of the things I'm kind of like most proud of, in at least in the recent in just the past year, I guess, is I actually published my own article on the Vietnam War, and then I wrote a book that I haven't published yet, but I'm in throes of editing. So I think this year it was a crazy year. You know, I had family members die, I had a pet die, but also had some really great opportunities and stuff like that. And then obviously in December, we decided to do this, but I'll leave that to you to ask me about.
Nice, that's cool. Well, in terms of like, you know, the podcast, how do you know the group?
Yeah, so it's it's kind of a large group of us, but we all met at Modern Day High School, which is the high school that we went to. It's a private Catholic school here in Santa Ana. And funny enough, I met the majority of these guys, especially John, Chris, and Daniel Kubek, where we met from day one. We were pretty good friends, and then it just kind of escalated to kind of like brotherhood from there. And then I met, you know, Chad in my freshman year as well. He became a super great buddy of mine. You know, then Marco, and then you later on. Well, you and I didn't connect until senior year.
Yeah,
really.
way later.
Way later. You know, Leo Weed, who, you know, unfortunately, because of different reasons, she kind of had to step down from the brand for at least for the foreseeable future. But hopefully, she'll come back down the line. But I hope not. Oh, Matt Neustadt, we kind of met too. So all of us kind of met either in choir, performing arts, or just by happenstance. You know, either in the class or something like that. You and I did. But we kind of really became really, really good friends, especially at the end of senior year. And, you know, kind of like everyone says, you might have 20 friends, 15 friends. And by the time you kind of finish your senior year and start going off to college, you really only have a handful, but you know that those handful are the best ones. And I have to say that there's people I still miss and stuff, but I mean, this core group of 8, I think, are just the people I know I can rely on any given moment. So I know there's maybe 1 or 2 else out there, but these guys are the ones I know for sure are here for me. And I'm just super glad that they agreed to be part of this journey with me.
Of course, we were happy to, you know, sign on and be a part of this journey. It's been super fun. Well, how did you, since you kind of are like, you know, the one who started everything, how did you did how did you start this off? You know, because we look up to you as if, you know, you're the lead on this. And so how did it all begin?
Well, I appreciate that, but I think, like, as we've talked, and obviously I want to share this with the audiences, in my mind, there's positions and there's like titles, but there is no real hierarchy. We're all equal. It's just like the positions are because you're good at it or you have experience in it or something. And I don't consider anyone else having like more power than another person. Maybe me tiny bit, but just like tiny bit above, but not really. But I appreciate that.
Because you are the main founder, you know, like you really are the one who started all this, which is amazing. So I want to know, how did you get started on beginning what is now Intelligent World?
Yeah, definitely. So I transferred into Chapman in the spring of 2019, and I think just from watching like How I Met Your Mother, you know, like when Ted talks about him being on the radio station in college, and you know, other kind of movies and just stuff out there, it was always radio just kind of always like came to me as something that's super interesting. And I always thought in college, I'm definitely going to want to do that. And in the fall, once I had a semester under my belt, I realized that Chapman had a radio station and I could be part of it. So I joined Chapman Radio, and I decided to do Around the World. That's what we were called.
Yeah.
And the whole plan was to do international music. So we would have like music from England, from Germany, from Spain, from France, from Portugal, you know, just kind of the stuff that I really liked. So I guess I wasn't exploring more music. I think I should have broadened my horizons, but it was the music I kind of really liked, and that's what I chose. and I didn't want to do it alone. I
Mm-hmm.
I can't really say I was nervous or anything. I just didn't want to be there alone in the studio. So
Right.
thankfully, Leah Weed was there since literally day one. Then
Wow.
Marco and you and Chad, and I think from there it just kind of grew. But then in the spring of 2020, we were W3 What We Want, and the whole premise of that show
Right.
was kind of like Jack FM, where we kind of just got my phone, threw whatever we wanted on there, and it was just really us just talking and having fun in the studio once a week or twice, whatever it was. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, I got cut short, but because of the pandemic. But
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun, And then the
Yeah.
fall of 2020, it was all from home. And I know I'm kind of going off going pretty long here,
No,
but I just want to give
that's
out the
okay.
history.
That's okay. Yeah.
um, yeah, we were LFG radio, and it was all from home. We learned how to use Adobe. I did everything we learned how to use. We got ourselves some mics that weren't super
Right.
expensive, and it became a really great way, even though it was kind of thrown together last minute, for a few of us to kind of really get together, even if it was just through Zoom to record it or whatever. But it was a lot of fun, and that kind of spurred two different things. Chris Berry, John and Daniel Kubek hadn't been there since day one, because they go to different universities, and they're like a little bit farther away, more spread out. So even though I had wanted them to be part of the brand since day one, it just kind of never worked out. But after talking with Chris, we kind of thought, well, Chad and I have editing skills now. We have
Mm-hmm.
equipment. We know how to do this, how to put it together. Why not just start a business together? And that's what Chris and I had been wanting to do for a long time. We wanted to
Yeah.
start a mental health kind of either podcast or write a book together or something. And it just kind of came all together all up once at the end of December of 2020. And we decided, why not? We know what to do. We know how to do it. And it just kind of spurred from there. And so we have a lot of ideas.
That's great.
And that's the history of the whole show. Sorry for that rant.
No, that's okay. Like you again, you are the founder of this. You started it. So it's good to know the history and know, our roots, where we came from, the beginnings to where we are now. Well, we kind of talked about this earlier though too. What's your role on the team? Like, what's your part?
Yeah. So like I said, I try not to really have a hierarchy here, but
Right.
yeah. So I founded the
You did.
show
Yeah.
back in back when we were around the world. And I think what Chris and I really wanted to do was not make a new show, but just rebrand it and really make it seriously, so that we
Right, of
wouldn't
course.
lose our history. We would just kind of like a phoenix, kind of just rise up from what our past was and flourish into something new. So we're not negating, or nor are we forgetting the past. We started, or at least we hold true that we started back in 2019, just a little less seriously and on Chapman Radio. So since then, I've been the founder, I've been the producer, I've been the editor for most part until we really rebranded to The Intelligent World.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And now I'm just kind of have my foot in everywhere. I'm, I guess, a little bit of the lead, kind of put everything together. I'm the producer, the executive producer, kind of have my foot in the creative team as well, helping them out and just everywhere. And then I take care of the audio editing and posting everything to YouTube and Anchor and Chapman Radio. So Chad takes the video, I take the audio.
Right. You do everything in between to help us all. That's for sure. Like, he is honestly so consistent in helping us. It's been amazing. Well,
Thank you.
to sum everything up, where do you see the Intelligent World going now that you've seen it from, its baby steps, it's turning into a toddler? Where do you see it growing now?
Yeah, I'm really happy with what we've done, and I'm really, really proud of you guys as well. And we're just thankful that I don't have to do it alone, because I think if I didn't have you guys, this would have never happened. But I have a lot of big dreams for this show. I probably won't replace any of what we're doing. I know in my life it's not going to replace anything, but I hope that we can make a little bit of money from the show and then put it right back into the show so we can make it even better. I really hope that this takes off, and that the theme of the show is to talk about important things. So while on YouTube we might have some stuff that maybe doesn't seem super important. I would love to continue doing fun stuff, but really I want to continue the theme of talking about important topics in our society and kind of exploring that. And then kind of in line with what Chris and I had kind of envisioned is really take it to that next level. And as we continue, and I hope this continues for a long, long time, way past, 4 or 5 years, way past that we can continue to be a friendship or a team that consists of friends that consistently do this. As we get older, as things get busier, like you said, we kind of lose touch sometimes, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just, nature of being busy adults. But I think if this show can serve any purpose, it's to keep us together, talking about important things.
For sure.
And maybe just enlightening others or even enlightening ourselves. Anything like that. I think that's my biggest goal and my biggest vision for the show.
That's cool. That's good to know as well. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Daniel. I'm so glad that you were able to be a part of this interview. Thank you for your time. Is there anything else you would like to say? Anything to the subscribers, anyone to watching out there, or just any last thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. Audience, if you have been listening since day one, thank you so much. I definitely want to shout out, my family and my friends, these guys as well. But other friends that are not on the team, just thank you guys for your support. Because even if no one's listening, just the fact that we know that our immediate friends and family are listening it just makes this all worthwhile. I'm just so excited to be doing this. Thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. So with that, I would say continue to support us by listening to our stuff wherever you listen to your podcast, or if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, leave comments, email us if you want to, and support us any way you can. We really appreciate it. We're trying to give back to our community by making good content. So yeah, just thank you. Awesome. And thank you, Sandra, for interviewing me.
Of course, anytime. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Again, if you are on our YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you again, Daniel, for joining us today. We are the Intelligent World, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.